Good morning, East Castle Place. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Welcome to this edition of Coffee with Tyler. Hope you have your favorite cup of choice. Of course, mine is the classic iced coffee. Join me in that first sip. Alright, let's get into it. So COVID-19. A memo was distributed last week, and it mentioned that visits from the outside would begin this week. Then, if you're watching this on Thursday, it was posted on Tuesday evening that the visits are postponed until further notice. I take full accountability for it, and the change that was made was really because of where we were progressing from East Castle Place. We had a low count of COVID-19 cases, both from staff as well as residents. When that decision was made to move forward with it, when I drafted that memo on Wednesday. Thursday, things started to progress. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, came back to working on Monday afternoon, reviewing emails, having some initial discussions, seeing, unfortunately, the cases rise and continue to rise in Wisconsin. And, Tuesday, after discussion with my director team as well as some others from LCS and the board, made the decision to postpone that at least another week, most likely another 2 weeks. Let me give you a little background story as to why we even made that initial attempt to have individuals come to us from the outside, so loved ones from the outside, limiting who it is, monitoring the symptoms, trying to keep it very structured. So the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, who regulates the health center, the federal entity, came down with essentially a mandate, a guidance that said we need to structure interior visits for our health center residents. Obviously, we were all very excited about this because we have residents that unfortunately haven't been able to have that, unfortunately not the face-to-face contact over the last 8 months. So, in reviewing that, we came up with a plan to utilize the fireplace room. It's right off the front entrance there. Staff or outside individuals, loved ones can come in, get their temperatures checked, answer the questionnaires, etc., etc. Well, then we looked again over the course of very quickly the time, and it just wasn't the right step for us to take. And so, like I've said from the beginning, this is an extremely fluid situation. The fluidity of the situation is unlike anything I've seen. It's unprecedented, obviously, the times we're in. And so in decisions with others, in consultation, had to make the tough decision to postpone those visits. Again, quick decision. It's something that I don't like to do. I've always been an executive director or a leader that likes to make a decision and follow through with it for the better of the community. This obviously has been a situation throughout the last 8 months where I've had to pivot. And I don't like to do that because then it brings in change, it brings in question, it brings in, well, Tyler, what are we doing? And so I apologize for that. But I hope you all can understand and support the decision to postpone. I want to see where Wisconsin goes, A. We're now, from what I heard this morning, essentially in the red. We're getting to a north of 10% positivity rate daily from the tests that are happening. The good news is, again, the positive cases for the majority are recovering. Obviously, our hospital systems are being fairly taxed right now, which is obviously a concern, and we need to do our part from an East Castle Place standpoint to make sure that we do stabilize that situation. And continue to care for our staff as well as you as residents. It's not just my responsibility to make sure I'm safe for you and making those decisions. We all play a part in this, and I think we all know that by this time. That's why you see staff members wearing the medical N95 mask or these surgical masks. That's why you see staff members wearing these face shields. We want to make the safest environment for all of our staff members. we also know our staff members don't live here. And so they're going to the outside world. They're going to their families, and their families are going out. And so again, this is a very obviously contagious piece, and so it can happen very quickly. And so that's why quick decisions are having to be made. And so again, postponement of visits are occurring. Family members were notified yesterday when that decision was made for anybody that was scheduled. I'm telling you now, we're taking this week by week. I will tell you that next week it's not looking like visits are going to happen either. Again, except for those essential visitors and caregivers that have been allowed in the community since the inception of this. But again, if you even have an essential visitor or you have a caregiver, we're even seeing that in those instances where they are in your homes, you still have to wear a mask. I'm asking you to wear a mask. I'm asking and requiring your caregivers to wear masks. If you're gathering, whether that's in a club room, in your apartments, in the hallways, obviously I need you to wear your masks. This isn't a recommendation. It hasn't been for a number of months. It's a mandate. And I hate saying that. I don't like putting these restrictions on you. But this is what we have to do from a community standpoint. This is what we have to do from an East Castle Place standpoint to protect you. You protect our staff. Our staff then can continue to come to work for you, work with you, work alongside of you, have those wonderful conversations, interactions that they're able to have. And again, this is not an easy time. You know, I guess back in maybe May or June, maybe we thought we had the surge. Maybe that's all we thought we were going to have, and we would be on the other side of this. Obviously, that's not the case. And again, testing has been abundant, and so that's why, obviously, from the state of Wisconsin standpoint, the labs are obviously being well taxed. The lines are very long at Miller Park and the various locations. We continue to test our staff, our essential staff, up to close to 100 at this point weekly to protect. And again, we are seeing some positive cases, and I'm being transparent with you. It's something that I will continue to be throughout this entire time. Another reason why we're limiting those gatherings. The staff members, you know, fortunately, the symptoms have been manageable, but we're taking the extraordinary precaution in keeping them out, most likely for 14 days. Yes, that is taxing our staff. Yes, that is impeding the services that you are seeing and receiving. Are we at our best right now? Probably not. I honestly know that East Castle Place, we are making do in some cases when we do have employees out and held out because they have a positive test. They've had some direct exposure to a family member, which is, again, 99.9% of the cases is an outside exposure that then they're held out for. But it's where we're at. And again, I cannot say that I'm prouder of being at East Castle Place and seeing the response from you as residents, seeing the response of the staff members and how we've pulled together to make do and to help each other out when the chips are down. For instance, last night I think we had, you know, a couple of servers call out. Not to mention we were already kind of thin on the schedule because we had others out due to other circumstances, and so I'm sure that affected dinner service last night. I'm sure that you didn't receive your coffees and waters and your entrees to what you used to expect. And so again, I appreciate your understanding. I appreciate your patience through all this. Because again, the staff, when they are here and they want to come to work, trust me, they do. They enjoy coming to work. They want to do their absolute best. They appreciate coming to work, being able to look, you know, have those relationships. And so your support, words of encouragement to the staff are incredible. Continue to do that. We're going to get a really good feel about how our staff are feeling. We have our employee engagement survey going out this week. The employee engagement survey is anonymous for the staff members. It's obviously all you know, grouped by departments and things of that nature, but they have their opportunities to write, you know, what they like about East Castle Place coming to work, what they think can improve, how they appreciate interacting with their coworkers. There's a list of standard questions. Again, that's benchmarked against the last survey that we did in 2018. It'll be benchmarked this year. And then we benchmark ourselves against LCS. Again, it's a step we're taking to make sure we're fostering our most valuable asset, our most valuable individual, and that's our staff. That's the dishwashers and the CNAs and the housekeepers and the maintenance and the community life teams and fitness and every reason why the majority and the large majority of you are here for those services that they provide on a daily basis. And so again, the appreciation and outpouring appreciation we have for the staff is incredible. Jen McEwen, our Director of Human Resources, and Tony, her assistant, our HR generalist, have been coming in at 4 a.m. this week to make sure the staff have A, access to the survey, are encouraged to take the survey, and B, they're being rewarded. We got a raffle going, we got food coming, we got walking tacos today that I'm able to serve to staff. Again, safe, socially distanced, all that fun stuff. But again, we have to continue moving forward. And so again, that's what we do. That's what ECP Strong is. We've had that model for forever now. What seems like forever. It's been 8 months. But you know, that's what we're gonna do. You know, we're moving into you know, a really, really interesting time. I mean, the cold and flu season is going to be here. Again, I said in the State of the Castle, if you haven't got your flu shot, please do. I encourage you to do that. I know that with Laura being back and the director team being back, it's been nice, and we're really looking forward to the holidays. Figuring out what that looks like. I will tell you it's going to be much different than the normal State of the Christmas at the Castle. We don't have choir going because of obvious reasons, but I promise you we're going to do our best to make sure you know that the holidays are here and celebrated. It's going to give us an outlet, staff and residents. We all need that. Again, life has to continue. It's just a little different right now. But again, that's the charge we have. It's the charge I have. And so I appreciate your input. I appreciate those conversations and those stop by the hallways or stop by the offices to say, hey, Tyler, this is what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts? How can we do this differently? Is there opportunities for, you know, a coffee with Tyler, for instance, in November to be hosted? We're working through some live streaming things right now. I know we have a small resident gathering to welcome new residents. Again, doing things, I like to think that that's structured. We can contact trace, you know, heaven forbid. But that socialization, I know that so many of you have spoken to me about, is so important. I've spoken about the physical aspect, yes, is valuable and cannot be forgotten. And that's obviously why we've postponed some things. But there's also the social, emotional, intellectual, vocational, environmental, spiritual, all those pieces that are so important to the overall health of you. And so again, that's what we want to focus on, and that's what our task is. And so I couldn't ask for a better group of directors to take that forward. So if you have thoughts, if you have concerns, let us know. That's what we're here for. And so again, hopefully you all know that. If you don't, stop by, give me a call. We're here for you. So we'll get through this. If your family members have questions about, Tyler, I was going to visit my loved one and now you're telling me I can't, direct them directly to me. I don't want that on you. That's a change that we made operationally. That's on us to explain. And so ultimately that's what we're here for. So that's the COVID-19 update. You will see in a memo we've had a few more staff members test positive for COVID-19. And so again, fortunately, the symptoms are fairly minimal and they're all in fairly stable condition. And so we're just working through that recovery period, which is roughly 14 days. Every piece of literature that I'm coming across keeps going to that 14 days. And again, that's because everybody comes to East Castle Place in a face shield, in a face mask, and are working directly with those individuals. So again, look for that in the memo that's coming to your doors. Hopefully, I talked to the Marine yesterday. Hopefully I get that to Maureen sooner, so you can even have that a little bit sooner in your mailboxes, as opposed to waiting till the end of the day. So with that, that's the COVID-19 update. Again, you'll get another memo. Again, transparency is key. We've been transparent for the last 8 months. The chips are a little bit more down. I hate telling and don't like messaging, hey, there's another positive case. But at the same time, that's your right to know. We'll continue to take safety protocols and measures in place. We anticipate it with the increased testing. That's obviously what you're seeing in Wisconsin. We got to figure out how to slow the spread of this. I know from an East Castle Place standpoint, these masks and face shields and sanitizers and washing your hands and staying isolated if you do have the slightest symptom, best bet. That's what we have to do. We have to support each other through this. Sometimes that support is tough. Sometimes that support is being stuck in the apartment because I'm having a symptom or two, but I don't want to expose somebody else that may then have it. So again, let Teresa Jenkins know, let myself know, let Lindsay Vigut know if you do have any of those symptoms or experiencing anything related to that. If you say, hey, I just had a caregiver that tested positive, let us know. We've gone through that and down that road. Fortunately, each time that's happened, we've been negative, knock on wood, or the residents have. So again, currently as this is taped, we don't have any independent living cases of COVID-19. We had the one in the health center that you were made aware of. That individual is stable and out of the community, and then we did have another one later last week in assisted living. So again, all of assisted living has been retested. All of the staff have been retested. All of those tests are negative. We have another round of testing that just happened yesterday. We're continuing to test, so I want you to know we are doing everything possible to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and this excuse my language, damn coronavirus. So it's tough, but hey, we're gonna get through this. Sometimes with a cup of coffee. So I'm gonna take another sip. All right, couple other updates. Window washing will be completed. Thank you for your patience on that. Due to COVID, I hate leaning on that as a crutch, but when it's the case, it's the case. Went a little bit later. Eric Peterson and the team have been doing a nice job of making sure that's wrapped up. Thank you for your patience with that window washing. It'll be fresh for the holidays. And I think next year, and you'll get a memo on this, but we're looking at doing it in the spring so that we have the summertime and the fall with clean windows. So again, look forward to that. A couple other items. Obviously, our housekeeping team has been doing a great job in keeping the areas clean and sanitized and bleached. The smell of bleach will continue to permeate the hallways. It just is what it is. Please do socially distance pat those housekeepers on the back. They're working their tails off to keep this place, to keep East Castle Place and your homes as safe as possible. Winter, well, I look outside and it's a cooler, windy, cloudy day. Fall is here, leaves are dropping, which reminds me I have to get home at some point and get my leaves to the curb so the city can come pick those up. I saw KEI, our landscaping company, out there doing some fall cleanup for us. I know a couple of you mentioned the pots outside. Thank you for that. That's just, again, the beautiful East Castle Place. We want to keep this place looking beautiful. But all in all, if there's questions or concerns or anything about the outside, let us know. Eric has the team prepared for the 4-letter word that nobody wants to mention, snow. S-N-O-W, snow. He's got the equipment maintained and gassed up. We have the salt. We're very prepared. So again, when the time does arrive, if it doesn't arrive, hey, not going to see your complaint out of me. But it's inevitable. It's Wisconsin. We'll get through that too. I guess it's one of the reasons why we all live here, right? It's that beautiful white powder that we see. The other couple of mentions, you will see in the memo as well. Lori Meckley has given her notice that she will be leaving the community. So Lori Meckley is our Director of Assisted Living. She's been with the community for over 4 years. She's done a phenomenal job in that assisted living director role. But there's some things outside of East Castle Place that have precluded her, and so she's taking that opportunity outside of East Castle Place. So normally we give a very nice send-off and the cake and everything like that. Unfortunately, due to COVID times, we're not able to do that. But Lori Meckley, if you see her in the hallways, please do wish her well. She's been a phenomenal individual for East Castle Place, and I know we'll transition out very well. Her last day right now is scheduled for November 12th. So she gave that full notice, and so we are in the process of recruiting and rehiring. In the interim, Lindsay Vigut, Paige Yantz, and the nurse team, Lena and Deb and Carl, as well as the wonderful CNAs over in Assisted Living and CBRF, will continue to make sure your loved ones as well as Assisted Living and CBRF are taken care of. And so again, if you see Lori Meckley, please do wish her well. Again, you'll see that in writing, hopefully as you're viewing this. But again, wanted to acknowledge Lori and say thank you to Lori for her time at East Castle Place. This is always the toughest, part of the job here, is seeing somebody head out. But again, for Lori, and I think she'll tell you that too, it's for her, and so again, wishing her well as she leaves the community. Of course, you'll probably see her back around. She's always welcome back at East Castle Place, and so we wish Lori well. We do anticipate in the health center a surveyor to come to make sure our protocols and processes are in place regarding COVID. Our annual survey has been postponed. However, that can also happen anytime. So Lindsay Vigut and Ashley Drummond are prepared and walking through that. Incredible team in the health center. We continue to be 5-star even through all of this. We've gone through 3 surveys that have focused on infection control. All 3 surveys have been deficiency free. So a credit to Lindsay, a credit to the team there in the health center on our 4th and 5th floors of Bradford Terrace. In remaining a 5-star community. Again, that should be a reassurance for you all. I know it is for me that we take such great care of our residents. And if and when the time comes, if you and your loved one ever need that service for any reason, it's here for you. Again, another reason why you're here in East Castle Place. What else do I have? I know that Laura mentioned she's got, we had pickles. We had the pickles made, so they're curing or salting or whatever the proper pickling term is. Pickling, I think it is. And so we are looking forward to our very own East Castle Place Cherrydale pickles. I know Laura mentioned that we had a great help this year for doing that. Thank you to those that participated, and again, make sure you get your hands on those. Those go quick, and so again, please do that. Also, a huge again thank you and shout out. The election season is coming to a close. I can't believe that. It seems like it's been going on forever. But again, thank you to Kathy Johnson, Joe Schmidt, Gary Aubrey for all they've done to assist in the voting process. I know there are some questions about that. I hope that those have been put to rest. We're really just trying to support everybody's absolute right to vote for the candidate that they want. I was talking to Gary this morning about that and just saying, kind of getting an update of where everybody's at. And, he said it's been, very helpful and feels great about being able to assist in making sure that the ballots are cast privately and again with everything in due process for those residents. And so again, just a quick shout out and thank you to Kathy Johnson and Joe Schmidt for heading it up from a resident perspective. in taking the time to make sure that the important piece of our right as an American to vote for who we want to, whether that's the incumbent or the Donald Trump or Joe Biden, for lack of a better, sorry, I lost my words there. But again, I think November 3rd is going to be here before we know it, and then we'll see those results. So, again, I know that sometimes this can be a contentious time, and I want to urge each and every one of you to absolutely have your opinions and have those discussions. I think they're very healthy, but please be respectful in those conversations. I know everybody has strong opinions. Some may not be as strong as others. Some are very strong one way or the other. Either way you reside, or if you're right in the middle, that's absolutely fine. That's your right. But one thing that is expected, and I expect it with you as residents, and I expect it with my staff members, we embrace and value our differences. That's one of our foundational hospitality promises. We embrace and value our differences. Unfortunately, the ugly heads of debates and sometimes the polarizing opinions don't allow us to embrace. So I encourage you, have those healthy discussions. I don't want to have to step in the middle and make staff come to me that say they may be uncomfortable in some of the interactions that they've had with residents or with each other. Obviously, if it's a staff member to staff member, I take care of that. That's a completely different opposite piece. But again, the one reason why employees love working here is because they love enjoying talking with you and serving you and all the great things. I don't want that to be clouded because of a strong opinion and maybe a harsh word that's being said. I'm not saying this because that's been brought to my attention already. I'm saying it more so because I know how things can sometimes end up. I like to think that here at East Castle Place, everybody's voice can be heard and everybody's opinion matters, and I truly believe that. But again, I'm going to tell you, I want it to be respectful. I want it to be embraced, and again, I value each and every one of you, regardless of who or what your creed is, who you vote for, what your values are. Again, I have my strong personal values that are the foundation of how I was raised, of who I am to the core. But again, I can easily have that discussion with somebody that's the polar opposite and say, hey, these are my opinions, these are your opinions. At the end of the day, you're a person, I'm a person. Let's hang out. Let's have that discussion. Let's be okay with it. That's what makes this country so amazing. Because I'll tell you, when I talk to new staff members and I'm going through this promise, I say, thank God there's only one of me. I mean, now I kind of have a mini-me, thankfully. But no, thank goodness that there's only one Tyler Goodix. And I think some of you may look in the mirror and say, wow, thank goodness that there's only one of me. Because again, if there was only one of me, this world would not be the way it should be. And that's a beautiful, beautiful place. And so again, it's more just a request. Again, everything's been very cordial. I have to say that everything's been very cordial. Nothing has been brought to my attention of, oh my gosh, Tyler, this staff member said this to another staff member. This resident said this to us. None of that's happened. It's more so I know that we're getting towards the end. I know COVID is here. I know there's a ton of fatigue, and I know that everybody needs their outlets. Have those discussions. Stop down by my office. Happy to shut the door and have these conversations with you. That's what I'm here for. I got okay shoulders. They're being leaned upon in some degrees, and so I'd welcome you as well to do that. With that, I'm going to take another sip of coffee. I did not know the value of coffee before 3 weeks ago. I really enjoyed coffee. And again, I'm not I enjoy the taste, but it does give me a little pep in my step as I was up this morning at 4 a.m. with my little guy, Hunter. So I know many of you have congratulated me. Thank you so much. Stephanie, my wife, is doing phenomenal. She's at home with our little guy, who at the rate he's eating, I don't know how little he's going to be for how long, but he's a beautiful, beautiful baby boy. Man, life-changing. I think I mentioned it a couple times. Those are words that I've said before. Now I really know the meaning, and man, I wouldn't change it for the world. That little guy is, you know, I have nieces and nephews, and of course, love them to a hundredth degree. Jonathan, Cassandra, they're now almost, well, Cassandra is in high school. She was my first niece. I remember holding her. Then I have my little niece Addison, that's 8 months old, and just a ball of fire, walking, giving mom and dad all headaches, and then I got my little guy, Hunter, along with Stephanie, and we've had great support from family and friends, and just look forward to the future of our family of 4, because I do have a fur baby as well, Bella, and Bella's been doing great. I know I mentioned a couple of you, and our little French bulldog, Frenchton. She's doing great with them, family's doing well. So thank you for letting me take a little bit of personal time here at the end of this segment to share that with you. Just very blessed. That's what I keep coming back to, is blessed. Blessed to be at East Castle Place. Blessed to work with the incredible individuals that I get to on an everyday basis. Get to interact with you as residents every single day. Again. Yeah, everybody's got a job, and yeah, sometimes it's tough. Wouldn't trade it. So, with that, I am going to wrap up. I'm going to sign off with a sip. For all of you out there, thank you for tuning in. Enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend, embrace each other, and as always, stay East Castle Place strong. Take care, everyone.